I'm starting. Hey guys, this is Justin from Justice League Swag, and today we're going to be doing a deck profile on one of our players from our shop that made top 8 and regionals in New Jersey a couple weeks ago. Yeah, we were really late getting to this, but yeah, time management right now. So this is Tommy. He was player C on the team, and they went undefeated into top 8. So we're going to be starting it off with his grade 3 lineup and working our way down. Take it away, Tommy.
Hey guys, Tommy here. We're going to talk about Regalia today. This is the short sword and shield of my deck. Let's get right into it, guys. We run 4 of Angelica. Staple of the card. This is your shield in here. This is very irrelevant right now. Highly recommend 4 in here. Next, we're going to move into Yggdrasil. Yggdrasil is the shield. She's the main core piece of this deck. If you do not see 4 of this card, or you don't see any in your opening hand, mulligan for her. She's the staple of this card. She's your shield, the hard hitter. She's the one that makes this deck run. Next, guys, we are going to go to our grade 2s. Norn is the best friend of Yggdrasil. These two work together, the Dumb and Dumber. Pretty much, these two give it boost, and this card here is the key piece that helped me win all of my matches and made me win X1. Next, we'll move into a Thud. A Thud is a great card here. This one gets to play around with a Divine Gauge, a special key term that Regalia has. This card was very, very sneaky in here. Throughout my games, I always made sure my Norn had Divine Gauge behind the Vanguard. This card came in clutch and so many times it gave me resist. During the time when my opponent would try to pop my units, she came in clutch in here. And 2 of Hermone. Hermone, it was more 2. I tried 3, but it was too squishy. I feel like 2 was the safer option for me. I always got the finesse to put 3 cards in my soul for Minerva's super turn, which we will get into later. But I think personally 2 was always the safest route for there. Next, we're going to go into my grade 1s. Alright. Forvier, this is another staple card here. This is our only countercharger besides another stride. This one here will definitely help you turbo your soul. You don't want to do it too much because this deck here, you blind soul charge a lot. Now, the issue with that there, I always did it at least one time and I put it behind the Vanguard to put my opponent in lethal range of 3. Because this deck here is, you hit yellow cards and win. But this card came in clutch during many times. She helped me out a lot in here. I definitely think 4 is, as well as the Regalia name, this one's definitely a staple of. 3 of this chick. Now, when I was practicing with my teammate Darius, shout out to Darius, I wanted to squeeze in another in here, but throughout times as I kept playing in the best of 1 format, I really realistically only needed 3. It really helps finesse the Soul Blast for Soul Blasting 3, which helps Minerva, so I can save that turn for my Super Generation Break 3 turn. I wanted to run 4, but 3 was definitely an option here, and I thought this worked out really well. I always saw this in my hand when I needed it. 3, I think, is secure. It's safe. This is definitely 3 or 4, but realistically, I ran at 3. Now, my personal tech, Skull. People are going to say, why are you running Skull over the other grade 1? This deck, you need to see Yggdrasil. As much as I love the G unit that searches out any Regalia unit, the problem with Regalia, they do not have a grade 1 turn. Nothing on Vanguard. So this Skull here, throughout all 6 games of my Swiss rounds, I always got this card here as a first ride, and I always got Yggdrasil or Angelica, then a combo off with my other one, which we're going to get into next. This card here, you don't have to run. It's risky because it doesn't have a Regalia name, but in long term, this card came through, helped me turbo to get Yggdrasil, and then just, you know, got all the abilities of boosting, and then pretty much GG there.
Plus, he's super cute.
Now, this was the second card we're going to get into.
Little Doji.
This card is great. This is a pretty much deck thinning, deck winning. This is the Regalia one that lets me search any grade 3 Regalia unit. All you have to do is reveal any Regalia. So what I did throughout the whole tournament is if I saw Angelica or Yggdrasil, I would always keep 1. Then if I would try to mulligan to get this, when I got this card here, boom, you just get the other one. You get the shield, you get the sword. This card here came in handy many times, as well as this is Stride Fodder too. This here came in so many clutch times because I would need the shield sometimes against my matchups. But this card here definitely secured my safety pieces, and I got everything that I needed to go wing it through all my games of Swiss.
Okay, so good.
I have run one Shining Angel. I was playtesting a lot. I wanted to run more. Only issue is it's a 5k shield, it's a G unit, and premium is very flexible with all types of cards you can run.
I was going to say,
Yep.
It's $15 too.
Yeah, that too as well. Very high-end card right now. A lot of people want this card. I was lucky to find it in one of our shops. Got it, blah, blah, all that. Same thing as the grade 2. You tuck in up to three regalias. That keyword up to. Sometimes you don't have to. You can save it for irrelevant cards like our G guards.
Yeah.
You don't always have to put 3, but depending on the soul, make sure you always count your soul too, because you're going to always need at least 6 to 9 for a regalia, for Minerva. But here, this card was just only a 1 of. I wanted to run more, but 5k body shield, I thought it just,
If you guys need more of those, we have more at Superstar Card Gaming. Yes. Selfless promotion here. Yeah, check that card out. Yeah, we have more. Superstar Card Gaming. You order online.
Next, I run 2 of the PGs. Now, people are going to think, why don't you run 4? Well, when we get into my matchups later, I had a very strong feeling. I tried out the 4 of the PGs. Only issue was, I'm more of a believer that the draw PGs were much more stronger. I think they are because it's a draw one as well as a PG in your hand when you drive check it. This is great because if you tuck this into the soul and you have one in your drop zone, the Generation Break 1 kicks in. So what you do is you bind the one that was soul blasted out from your soul and you get the one back from your drop zone. So I remember in one of my matches, I had Soul Charge 2. I'm like, oh man, that's a free PG. So what I did was I would use this with Minerva. Soul Blast 3 Regalia units. Soul Blast 2 out. These 2 skills were on standby. After that, I binded 1, got a free PG back. So realistically, only Soul Blasted 2. So pretty much these, they're great. It's more of, do you want to have draw PGs or do you want to have more grade 1s for Regalia name? You got to remember it's a best of 1. So me personally, I did a hybrid of 2 and 2 for my PGs, but definitely I would consider running at least 1 to 4. But me personally, I did 2. When I'm ever in a situation with I am undecided, I always do a hybrid of both. SP starter, you always need a Genesis starter, but the V1s they're good. You get a quick shield, all that good stuff. Trigger lineups. For the stride crits, handy. It's a staple, mandatory for majority decks. It's stride fodder, 15k shield. I think you should run them. Crits, they win games, and they're just fantastic cards.
Yes, crits advance the game state the fastest.
I run 4 of the new Heal Guardians. These came very in handy if I was going in second, as well as stride fodder. If I was fighting any opponents that were trying to rush me, I always made sure I would mulligan. That's why we run the Skulls.
Yes.
Skull says you can search up to 1 grade 3, reveal it, then discard a card from your hand. Against my matchups, I did it against Luward. My round 6 opponent, when he was trying to do Luward, blah, blah, turbo markers, you're trying to rush me. I used the one on, I always respect the Vanguard. There you go, made a 2 to pass, he didn't get it, gave it to rears, ate that one, so I had counterblast for my Minerva turn, boom. Great cards, I would recommend them, and a best in one as well too. These are very universal, it's a big toolbox, you can use them for a lot of ways. These are very staples, I would use them. 2 draw PGs. Back like I was saying with the grade 1 draws, these came in handy a lot. I was drive checking these a lot. I know it's a trigger. Doesn't sound kind of funny saying that, but you net more of a hand, and I wanted to out-nutrition my opponent with more hand because it's the best of 1. As well as me playing this deck here, I would never deck out because we have a G guard, a super G guard, which we'll get into later, that helps me put units back into my deck. So I would never deck out. I would put normal units in, but these came in handy as well because some matchups had guard restrict where you cannot guard with normal units. That's why I run a 2 of just in case of this, the grade 0 PGs. For just in case they had those cheesy sentinel restricts or any restrictions really, these came in handy as well. 1 Keter over trigger. I saw some people against my matchups running the vanilla one. I'm a strong believer that does not work. These here will get you a better hand, as well as Keter Sanctuary. We draw a lot, and this definitely came in handy a lot. In my round 5 Swiss against Nightmare Daws, I hit this and I out-tritioned him. I blocked his, his Alice loop and all that, and then boom, and we just GB3 Minerva. That was it, game.
That's good of you to mention because it gives you an edge against Excel decks by drawing more cards.
2 of the Generation Break 1 crits. You don't have to run these. I chose them only because the 10k power. Numbers matter in Vanguard. There's a 5k one that we're going to get into next, but these came in handy as well too. Sometimes if I needed for Minerva to have extra power so I can bait them to drop the PG on the second swing. But this 10k came in handy. And last, these crits helped me through all 7 games of my play through the tournament, day 1. The Regalia crits, what the skill is, if act, I tuck this into the soul, choose a unit, gets plus 3k. Then if my GB is 1 or more, I draw 1. That's good. So it's pretty much breaking even. As well, every time I played this card, I would put the 3k to my Yggdrasil Norn on my left or right hand side rear guard because I want them to respect the van, and then they would eat the rear guard here. As well as this is a Regalia name too. I was considering doing all 4, but then again I said numbers because these are only 5k. These were very sneaky, as well as helping me finesse to put 6 Regalia names into the soul. This is a card I would also highly recommend putting into any Regalia Minerva deck.
Nick would be proud. Let's do that G-Zone.
Alright, now we're going to the queen herself, Minerva. Staple 4 of. She's crazy. She gets drive +1 when you Soul Blast 3 Regalia units, as well as restanding all Regalia units. Now, a cool little interaction is if your deck's slow and you know you have Overtrigger in your deck, Generation Break 3, when you swing, you give the 100 million to someone if you drive check it in, let's say in hindsight. You use Minerva's skill when after she's done swinging, you stand all the Regalia units, and then after that, she says stand every unit up, and every unit on the field gets drive -3. And that's where you can finesse your opponent's mind, like, oh, he's going to deck out. No, Minerva's skill. All my units, since I hit the Overtrigger, they get all drive checks. You think they're going to win because you're decked out? No, she voids out that ability because she says all the units get drive -3. So you have a rear guard swing for 100 million, 2 crit with the restand, as well as you just have everything so swole. This you need to run 4 of.
Pretty smart.
2 Armuda. All of my matches in Swiss, I didn't fight any Grand Blue. I did fight Order Colony in round 1. We were practicing a lot because we have some teammates that play Order Colony and Grand Blue, but I only fought 1 Order Colony, and I didn't need to go into her, but if I did just in case, against those pesky protect decks, I would go into her, make sure my soul is at 15, and then after that, restand the Yggdrasil that's on rear guard, and then their guard restrict no sentinels, so that would pretty much eat up their sentinels restrict on there. It's a great card. You can run it 1 or 2, but I ran 2 just in case because in a G-Zone, how I always see it as you need to have staples, techs, and those 1-ofs just in case. This was more of a tech. It's definitely mandatory at 1. 2, yeah, that's extra playroom just in case, but this was only in here just for the Sentinel Restrict. My boy Marduk here. Now this card was very sneaky. This card you can stride on first if you're on grade 3, Superior Stride. There's a cool little combo. What you can do is you have your Vanguard grade 3 and Norn behind, but you need to have a Yggdrasil. You would boost with your grade 3 Regalia unit, then after that restand from Norn's skill. Then if you have enough soul, you would go into a Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 6, Superior Stride. This was really good in the best ones. All my die rolls, if I went first and my hand was looking healthy, I would always go for this card because there was no loss. It was triple drive, 2 crit, and this unit inherits all of the trigger effects that you gave the Vanguard. So the first swing, let's say you hit crit, you would give the crit there, pass the power to the rear guard, and then when you would stand up back up with Norn's skill, you would go in. This unit would have like the crits that you revealed throughout a drive check or power. Very sneaky card. I would definitely run this at 1, only because this is the best in 1. You don't want to let your opponent play the game. Marduk's a very good card, and this card is it's useful. You get everything. This was the one secret tech. This was just in case if people tried to counterblast starve me. This card here, I really didn't need to go into, but it was just in case they wanted to play the counterblast starve game. What I would do is I would stride into this card here, Soul Blast 3, then countercharge 1, so then I can use Yggdrasil skill in the Superior Color Norn tuck in 2 units from the soul into a divine gauge, and then we get boost. I would definitely run one. You don't have to run one, but just in case people like to play, you know, the counterblast game, definitely run that. 2 Uthra. Uthra is the alternative finisher if you cannot kill with Minerva. Her skill is, when this unit's placed, if your GB is 2 or more, you do is you counterblast 1, put all the Regalia units from your drop zone into your soul, and this unit gets red text. If your GB is 2 or more, she gets red text, Soul Blast 6. This unit gets plus 10k in a crit. I didn't have to go in that because majority of the time people die on Minerva's turn, especially on Generation Break 3. But if I were to play a long game, this is my alternative win route. Killcon. This is a great card here. Uthra. Definitely would run in. Now into my G zone. Iris here. Iris was okay. I only used it one time, realistically. It just, you put any 3 cards into your drop zone, into your soul. Plus 5k, that's cool, 20. And the issue with the deck is, you know, with those heal gardens are 15k. It's a 20k, so it's pretty much just 20k shield, but it's good G-flip fodder. But I only had to use it one time. It's a nice card to tuck in 3 cards so you can use those non-Regalia units for Yggdrasil's skill to tuck and pass around the gauge to another unit. This card was my majority. This was my second best G-guard here. Ear. Ear skill is Guardian Circle. Choose up to 4 different grades. You put them into your soul from your drop zone, and this becomes very fat. This is a 30k shield if you choose up to 4. I would never usually go into 2. I would set up my drop zone on purposely to have 4 different grades from 0, 1, 2, 3. I would do that to finesse my opponent, and then I would G-guard. So when I would go into my first stride, if I went first, I would always make sure Minerva was at Generation Break 3 ready. I would have 4 Regalia units, and this was a fat 30k, so it can, you know, respect the Vanguard, because, you know, it's Vanguard. If they hit that one card, they pretty much win. But this is card, I would always run 2 of the Minerva, not Minerva, this Generation Guard here fodder. Very good. And lastly, this card here, the Super G Guard. This card here definitely helped me just in case. Put my key pieces of Norn and Yggdrasil back into the deck. Its Generation Break 1 skill is flip a Heal Guardian face up, a G Heal, excuse me. And then the skill is choose either a unit from your designated soul or drop zone. And then you choose up to 3 cards of that same grade. That's the keyword, same grade. So it doesn't always have to be the same unit. But what I would do with this is put 3 Norns from either my soul or drop into my deck. And make sure I always had a Norn back into the rear guard. Because Norn's skill is Counterblast 1. Superior color Norn from my deck. And then, you know, you just get it back for free. So you pretty much put your important pieces back into your deck. And then there you go. And you would always make sure you would never deck yourself out. So this is a very relevant card here. One time I had 10 cards left and I was on defense. I used 2 Super G guards and I put back 6 cards. So pretty much when I went to my super turn for my Regalia's GB3, pretty much I secured the win, made sure I didn't deck out, and boom. Going into my rounds, round 1 was Order Colony. That was my worst matchup there. I had to make sure I had to rush him, make sure I hit crits. As much as I hate saying that, it's luck, but Order Colony, I'm not trying to play games in with that deck right now. I'm trying to play the game. Luckily, he went first, so I get the stride first. When I swung with Minerva first, he PG'd the first swing. And it was kind of dishonest, but I hit crit, normal unit. So when I re-standed with Norn's ability, I had Minerva swinging for 88, 4 crit, and he said no guard. He took 4 damage, took that on my end. It was a team win. Game 2 was against Gear Chronicle. Gear Chronicle I lost only because he damage checked all of my Norns. And that's the key piece that I need to restand all of my Regalia units, any on either side of the field. But we got a team win. My teammate clutched out, and my team A player, he won as well. Our third round in Swiss was the Genesis Mirror Match. Very unorthodox. I fought a Astro Poets premium deck. I was thinking like, okay, that's pretty cool. The problem was there was really no win condition how I saw it. I just PG'd. Well, I took the first hit of whatever one was bigger, and then PG'd the second. Like if the Valkyrion was swinging, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna PG whatever is coming second. And I went into Minerva, took that. Round 4, Nightmare DOS. This was a scary matchup, but we took it. But short, you got to ban over triggers in premium. I felt bad for my opponent, but he was very nice. We both knew, like, okay, this was definitely not my game. He didn't stride down with Karo's skill. He didn't go into grade 2. He didn't want to play a grade 2 game. So he let me stride first. I said, ooh, okay. I go into Minerva. I do my skills with Norn, Yggdrasil. He takes the first hit of Minerva, hit 1 crit, 3 normal units. Restand with Norn's skill. After that, I swing again. He PGs. Okay, I was expecting that. So I hit normal unit, over trigger. I said, oh. So my rear guard had a Yggdrasil, as well as a Norn as well over here. It was swinging for 100,000,033 2 crit twin drive. I was thinking in my head, like, oh man, I just hope he doesn't have a PG. He said, okay, no guard, man. And hit normal units, it was 2 crit and then a restand. I knew he was going to hit me with the Alice loop with Jenny and them, but I looked at his hand. I asked, can I see your hand? He had enough guard as long as it wasn't over trigger. But, you know, over triggers win games.
They steal games.
Yeah, it was very dishonest. Eric, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, man, but GG's. Round 5 was my Genesis mirror match. This was the Regalian one. Now, this one here, I was very confident in. I fought this matchup a lot. I knew not to give him counter blasts, or else I would always swing at the Yggdrasil because she's the sword of the deck. She gives all units with Divine Gauges boost, so I wasn't trying to play no games. He was playing the 4 grade 1 PGs. That's what I disagree with because I feel like with draw PGs, you can net more of a better, healthier hand. What he was doing was trying to soul charge a lot, which was I respect because he's trying to go to his GB3 next turn as well. He soul charges over trigger, and I was like, oh, okay, so this is definitely now a little bit more easier to block everything. And then it was my turn. I stride into Minerva first, do the same thing. I was lucky enough to hit all of his key pieces. I hit 4 of his Yggdrasils in damage check, and so what, it made it very easy in there. And then I swung for a magic number, 53. That's why those 10k Generation Break 1 crits are in handy, because I swung for 53. When he took the 2 damage, he said, yep, I was short 5k, man. I said, I checked his trigger count. He was running definitely more of the 5k, which I respect because it's a Regalian name. But definitely, we secured that win. And my last match was Shadow Paladin, Luward. I have a friend that plays a lot of Luward Premium. I fought that. He went to Morfessa first stride. I was only at 2. He swung with the rear guard first. I wanted counterblast because I wanted no counterblast. I hit 2 damage triggers and it pretty much voted out his rear guards. Even if he hit a stand from the Ravens, it would just pretty much guard the rest and then took the game there. He said it was his first Regalia matchup. I said, oh no, that's not good. Against all of Swiss of top 6. Took that one. Top 8 was against Spike Brothers. This was a very pristine level. This is my first top 8 here. This guy was playing the Greedon Spike Brother Restand. He hit me with this new promo that just came out with this skill is you put it on Guardian Circle, choose one of your opponent's rear guards. They can't use the auto abilities for that turn. So when he guarded, I couldn't restand with Minerva on my first stride. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. When my turn is over, it's his turn on offense. He did a misplay by mistake. He forgot to do Rising Nova skill. The judge was right next to me too, and he said battle phase, and he said, oh wait, I forgot the skill. I said, I'm sorry, man. The judge is right there. I'm not letting you take no takebacks as well, neither. It's top 8. You know, you can't be nice. It's very unfortunate. Sorry, man, but you can't let that little stuff slide. We're at the top 8, the most highest level. But if it's locals, you know, I'll let you slide, man. But regionals, I can't, man.
Nah, you can't. No. Not in competitive play. That's the point of practicing.
Yep. I took that. We both knew that he was going to net a very healthy hand as well, too, but he missed timing on his skill. I was in my Generation Break 3 turn. I restood all my Regalia units. He couldn't block. I hit for 4 crit, and that was game. It was a team loss. It was unfortunate, but I won my match in C, so I was happy. I won X1 and throughout the whole tournament. I was very excited for my first regionals. I would highly recommend anyone that plays Vanguard go into their first regionals if they're nearby their coast. Yep.
All right, good job, Tommy. Next time we're definitely putting you in the A seat, though. Let's see how you handle that.
Yeah.
But thank you for your deck profile and your time. Those watching, please like and subscribe, and also comment on other things that you would like to see in the future, and then we'll work on getting those to you. All right, bye.